Summer is a great time of year when many of us are more active, maybe we travel more, but that can lead to more accidents and injuries. Phoebe's Medical Director for Emergency Services, Dr. James Black, is here. It is hot and humid in the summer in South Georgia, so let's talk about that first. What's the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke?
You know, when we think about heat illnesses, they're kind of on a continuum, and you get to, thirst, sweating, then heat exhaustion, heat stroke as it gets worse. Early on, you may get some feelings of dizziness, dehydration, your skin may be cool and clammy, just not feeling well, some nausea and vomiting. As it gets worse, believe it or not, you actually stop sweating, your temperature goes up, you can start having altered mental status or altered sensation, and then you could actually lose consciousness.
So how do we handle those two heat illnesses? What should we do?
Well, first and foremost, get someone in a cool area or into shade if there's no cool area around, get them an air conditioner. Rapid cooling is what we try to get them to drink something if you can, and by all means call 911 for assistance.
So what's the best advice you have to avoid getting into that situation, to avoid the heat illness?
You know, having a healthy dose of respect for heat illness and the way it creeps up on you. You want to make sure you start hydrating before you begin any outdoor activities. Try to do those activities at the cooler part of the day, either early in the morning or late in the evening. And also let someone know when you're going to be working outside or doing something that heat illness may be a consideration. The worst thing is that nobody knows where you are and you're missing and need help but can't get help.
I'm sure, unfortunately, you've seen drowning victims or near drowning patients here in the ER. What do we need to remember around water during the summer?
You know, the pools and the water is the best place to be in the summer, but want to make sure we, again, have a healthy dose of respect of what can happen. Want to make sure that either novice swimmers or very young people are not alone when they swim or in the water. Make sure that there's always supervision, always line of sight. You can't look away for even a moment, especially with the children. And then learn CPR. That's one of the biggest things we can do to help the general population. Make sure that somebody's well-versed in how to start CPR process. And then also educating and giving swimming lessons to make sure that people can enjoy it as much as possible.
And you mentioned that kids should never be unsupervised around the water, but oftentimes in the summer, kids and teenagers do spend some time without much adult supervision. What kind of problems can that lead to?
Well, it can lead to, especially again, if no one's a strong swimmer or you don't have people who are very attentive, and you need to just make sure everyone is accounted for. And again, we stress not swimming alone, just like we would with heat illness. Make sure somebody knows where you are. If you're an older person or someone who can actually swim, you want to make sure somebody knows where you are. But certainly smaller, younger, and novice swimmers, don't swim alone. Make sure there's a responsible adult who can actually help that's in the area.
Are there other dangers that kids and teenagers may face, particularly during the summer, maybe not having to do with the water?
Sure. You know, again, outdoor activities are a big staple down here in our part of this country and our part of the state. But you have to have a healthy dose of respect. There's a lot of motorized vehicles, four-wheelers, or even golf carts. You have to be extremely careful. So making sure someone is, again, not experimenting with driving, make sure it's not the first time, and they treat those vehicles that are motorized and quite powerful with a healthy dose of respect. And again, I can't stress enough, if you're going to be out enjoying those activities, making sure that someone knows where you are and where you're intending to go. And then you can even extend that to hunting and making sure there's a lot of emphasis on gun safety and training. And I want to make sure that, again, people know where you are and know how to get help if you need it.
And I'm sure you recommend that kids always wear a helmet when they're bicycling or skateboarding.
Absolutely, and that's probably one of the most overlooked things, because riding a bike and skateboard is a lot of fun and helmets aren't always the coolest thing to do, but certainly the difference in your being able to tolerate a spill is dependent on you wearing that helmet.
And families love to take summer vacations. A lot of us will be on the road. What do we really need to keep in mind when we're traveling to that summer vacation destination?
You know, I think people put a lot of time into planning where they're going to go, how they're going to get there, but put an awful same amount of energy into preparation, making sure you have a proper amount of rest, making sure you're taking care to not be a distracted driver. There's a lot of distractions, especially when you're traveling with small children. Of course, making sure you wear seat belts. No drinking and driving, those kind of things. But putting that same amount of energy into the preparation will make your vacation that much more enjoyable.
Dr. Black, thank you for sharing your expertise with us, and we hope everyone has a safe and healthy summer.